I haven't made a video in like 2 years, and I'm pretty sure this tractor hasn't also ran in about 2 years. We use it for hay, which, right now it's more than like start hay, so we're on to a good track with that. Last time it was going, or trying to get going, I think the needles got stuck or the float got stuck, and it just started pouring fuel out of the intake. So shut off the fuel, and then just spray some brake cleaner a couple hours later, and it didn't have spark either. So kind of got to do a little bit. Know I need to rebuild the carb. I got a kit somewhere sitting around, and then hopefully the points just need filed. I have points condenser somewhere else, but we're just gonna hope that works. So I got to get to it. Hopefully the horses aren't behind you, aren't bothering you too much, but we'll live with it. This leaky thing, 2 years ago, just trying to get it figured out. Pull the fuel off because emptied the tank out. Try to use the fuel where it was. Then took this off, so there's probably some critters up in here that I'm gonna have to chase down. And this is just dusty as all crap. There's spider webs genuinely everywhere. But you can tell it's quite leaky, so I gotta pop some stuff off here. I think there's the throttle cable coming on the backside, so I gotta unbolt those. And yeah, just time to have some fun, unbolt this thing. Hopefully it's really easy. I've never messed with one of these updraft carburetors before, and I have poor success with carbs as it is, so it should be fine. Should be quite easy. All right, best way to leave a carburetor and stuff open is take off the filter, keep the throttle or the choke wide open, and then leave it for 2 years. I'm sure that's exactly the method they say in the service manual. But one thing I'd like to say is screwdriver that I had of mine was sitting here for about 2 years. So Mac, if you're watching this, which is my brother, I'm sorry. I probably blame that on you. That's me. My bad. So I'm gonna start taking this inside and see what I can do to clean it up, see what's stuck and what's not functioning correctly. I mean, it looks simple, so hopefully I'm not completely incompetent, which All right. I know I'm blocking the light, but in here actually doesn't look that bad. I mean, there's a little bit of crud and crust on top of it, but honestly, really, really good. The gasket came off easy, so before we bought it, must have been in decent running shape. That fell out. I wasn't meaning to do that, but we'll just plop her back in for now. The problem is, I don't know if you can hear it, but float's got a leak. So I don't know if I'm going to try to see if I can find where that might be, or if I need to just order a new one. Thing looks pretty good otherwise, so see if I can make her bubble somewhere. And see if that does anything. So I got those things sitting, soaking it up. I did find, got myself an old used Bondo cup. This one is like, you can hear it hissing. Like if you pinch on it just slightly, it gives a little hiss. You can hear it sloshing around in this one right here. This one seems to be fine. I don't think there's an issue in that one, but I cannot find where it's bubbling. So I don't know if I need to let her soak a little bit overnight or whatever to see if I can find some bubbles going. And I'm trying to just sort of slightly brush this area right here to see if I can knock anything loose, if that's like kind of covering it, or I don't know. So I don't know. I don't think I have a float in the kit that I bought, which I probably should have, but I found the leak on this thing and I'm using a heat gun, and then trying not to do this where I get myself in trouble, and this is probably gonna be hard to film, but there's a little baby leak there. You can kind of hear it sometimes. Just as the temperature changes in this thing, it's pulling or pushing air out. But I'm gonna put my water here, as a fire deterrent. You can kind of hear it right now, but there's a little bit of fluid left in there. And what I've been doing is pushing this getting it hot. You can see it kind of bubble out there. See it get shiny. And then I was using that as I was doing this. I'm trying to figure out how to do this with the camera and actually show it. But I'd use this to heat it up. It also dry that spot out. And then I'd move this in a certain way to get it to leak again. And it would kind of bubble like right where that's touching right there. And I'm pretty much out of fluid inside of there. And I'm gonna have to do some job like cleaning it up and whatnot. But I think I found my leak. My finger's a little warm. It's probably dangerous. I want to do this with a full bowl with, you know, actual fuel in it. Because, you know, that might turn bad, open hot source and fuel. But I found it, so we'll see if I can get it patched up and if I can go on from there. Well, popcorn bag went boom. I got it too hot. I was trying to go too fast. What I was doing was to start with, I was just warming the one corner and letting it sit and kind of fume out, and then warming the one corner, fuming, letting it cool down as it goes. Kept doing that cycle. I was honestly probably about empty. I didn't hear any more rattling, but I could get fumes every once in a while to come out. And then just overbaked her and went. So the hole wasn't big enough to, you know, vent all the pressure. So that's unfortunate. I guess I will be buying a new float and putting the carb back together that way. So freaking awesome, but it is what it is. Tried to go for all the beans. It didn't work. Rough. We've got everything back. I got this shipped in. So don't go so spicy with it like me. If you're trying to repair your float, that little axle fell out. Oh, whatever. Exactly. Perfect. It's now in. I got everything back halfway together. I don't remember where this came from last week. But I am reading through the instructions, believe it or not. Not used to that, but it should be back together here in a sec. I need to figure out where this goes. Hopefully I can manage that one, but it's looking good. I got my height or float measured, so where it's supposed to be. It actually came perfect, which is surprising. So she's minty. Well, it's real dark outside, but we got light. So it wasn't sparking. I popped the cap off. I did this little test here with the spare spark plug. So it's still in, but it wasn't sparking. So pop this bad girl open, which I think is on backwards because it's not sitting down in keyed well, but sander right there in the points. So she's now sparking, and I'll give her a test here. I'll put this back together actually. Spark plug's down here. I got a little bit of brake clean on it. Hopefully it's enough. If not, there should be enough to, you know, see the spark jump across. So, all right, I'm seeing the spark across anyway. Let's just give her have a little fun with it, you know. And so we got our candle. It's burning down some cobwebs, so that should be just fine. But now I just got to put the carb back on over there. Hopefully I did that right. I counted my turns and we'll see, found where that screw went. So we should just be dialed and dandy, but we might as well. I'm here, and this is what I did to test to see if it was just a bad carb when I pulled the carb the first time around and tried to see, but we'll just give her a little danger. See if she coughs on it. So, back to happy. Blew a lot of cobwebs out, but we should be good. That's a lot of oil coming back out. Or just dark fluid. Whatever. She'll run. The gasket's all scraped up here, so that should be good. I told myself to bring that forever, and then forgot to, so we're gonna get this thing bolted together. This is the choke, sits back here, bolt on top of the carb. This is the actual throttle itself. Use a little cotter pin that we're gonna reuse, and I should be good, so I might toss it on a time lapse and see how I do. finally time for Karis to fill up this gas tank. I don't know if I've ever done this without spilling somewhere. Currently have the pet clock still closed, just in case. Of course, a bug is biting me right now. Now, awesome, leaking here. Letting that flow through. Whole lot of garbage, probably should clean that out. We're here. We're through here now. So hopefully this is filling. Once I see that stop. Okay, why did the bugs all the way out now? Okay, she's about there. And we're gonna come back here. Key on. Awesome, that's probably on overnight. Choke. A little more throttle. She's idling. One of the reasons why it's missing is forgot to plug that back in, so. That spark is kind of sad, but we'll see. So plop her back on. Right there. Just gonna make sure. Okay. Put that sparkle there. Turn. There we go. Old Dusty's back for hay. Lights are back on, that's cool. Bueno. Yep. Something. I did also check all the fluids, so they're all topped off before this started. Now it's time to clean a path to actually get it out. All right, got it refilled up, cleaned out the way. Time to get covered in cobwebs and mouse poo. Ugh. All right, here she is in all her dusty glory. There are cobwebs genuinely everywhere that I'm gonna have to deal with. All the way throughout there. Just real dirty, cobwebby. There's a bunch of mouse poos here, so a little plastic bag should fix it. She's doing all right. There's a little gas leak here, outside of the petcock here, up top. Idling decent, not the best. I think something's getting bound in here because as it goes, it doesn't want to reset. So I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit, give her a wash, and then hopefully we can do some hay. All right, well, I've been trying to do a little bit of hay. It was finicky. I spent like an hour and a half just chasing stuff down because like the PTO pin right here didn't want to actually engage and was just rusted up. So I had to go just do a bunch of stupid little errands, and it's been finicky. It usually is. This is our John Deere 1209 Moco. Usually not very problematic. It's probably our best piece of equipment. But a sickle bar bolt broke and stopped me. But while I was doing that, I've noticed that I was digging dirt. And there's a skid pad that goes right down there, that thing. Well, on this side, right here, she is just gone. I don't know when that happened. It's like a foot by, or yeah, about a foot by 8-inch piece of metal that's got a little whoop in it, like yay. So I don't know what happened there or where that went, so I gotta do some hunting. The sickle ball bolt is easy. Hopefully I can find that pad, and then because I'd like to get this hay done, because rain's supposed to come Saturday. It's currently Wednesday. Would be nice to get it done, so we shall see. Well, upon further investigation here, what had happened was this over time, which was a little temporary solution. This comes in here and kind of sets your heights. This bolt was dropped in back here with a bar. Let's see if I can get this to stand up. With a bar sitting like this, you drop that pin in, and it eventually worked its way and bent the hell out of this, making that bolt drop through. This kind of dangles, and then one end of those numbers, and then now we're no longer sliding on the ground the way that this is intended to do. Unfortunately, these ribbings on the other side that's over here, are also slightly bent, so I can't even get the bolt out. So I might have to take a death wheel to that, pop it open, fix both of these. Oh. So just a reminder, if you make a temporary solution, fix the temporary solution and make it permanent, because yeah, awesome. So we're rolling again. I went in there, got that really hot, made it glow, then beat the snot out of it so that it was straight again, and hopefully that's fine. Now that I'm sitting back here, that paint heart's moving side to side a little bit, but it should be fine. So right now, I'm just letting this thing kind of work through the motions, warm back up, because it's been another hour and a half, 2 hours. So it would have been nice to get this done at 11 when I started, but it's not how things go. Overall, mowing went quite poorly. This was our best piece of equipment. It broke twice. It should have taken all of like 35 minutes to mow this field. And I have maybe a third of it done in like 8 hours. So we're just gonna call it a day because I'm already pushing it when it comes to rain. So we'll bail in that hopefully on Friday. It's Wednesday now. So hopefully it goes well from here on out. I kind of doubt it if this is giving us this much fit. So should be a good old time. Really should be. See you in a day.
number 4, like new idea rake worked really well. I think the thing's from the 20s, but it works. So next thing is got to unbury this baler right here, which is this New Holland Super 66. But I do have to get my brother's truck out the way. So that'll be fun to start up here quick. So unusually for this thing, it did actually tie 4 bales right in a row. They look like they're pretty good bales. A little light, but that's fine. Minus that one, that was the very first bale through the chamber, and it was like 2.5 times too long, so it's just way too soft, and as it came off the thing and bounced, it just kind of fell apart. So I get to pick that one up, but hopefully it's smooth sailing. thankfully, the baler went pretty good. It says on the counter 69 bales. I think we broke 4, one of which was, again, the first one, which was 2.5 foot long, packed really light, kind of fell off and just poof. Another 2 were right back to back, so they must not have nodded happily. One thing it was, there were some trees that fell off on the side of the field, so I'm assuming some twigs got in there. That just made it a little unhappy. And then my theory on my mower, which I think is a little bit out of adjustment on my end, but also we didn't mow last year, or we didn't make hay on this field last year, so the bottom of it was just matted. It was all twisted and tied together, and then all of that was pretty much at the same height that sickle was, or the sickle was at. So I think that's the reason why it was so pissed off and working like crap, because usually that thing's pretty good. You can hum along at 4, 5, 6 miles an hour depending on the field, and that one was dogged in first gear. So hopefully I need to do some things to clean her up, fix her up, and then hopefully we're gonna possibly talk to a buddy and have him mow it where it's not using a sickle. Hoping that will fix it. This baler's great for being from like the late 50s or early 60s, but I would love to get a new one. So I'm gonna keep scrolling Marketplace so I have a reason to anyway. See if I can find something a little bit better, a little bit newer. One that can do pretty good. All in all though, again, like pretty happy with how this thing worked. I think it put 60 bales out, 65 bales in about an hour, which is honestly pretty stout for this thing compared to what it normally has been. So doing a little bit more service to it at the end of the last season that we did helped a little bit, but I think it needs one new knotter assembly because some of those like bearing shafts are shot. One of those costs like $1,000. I think I bought this baler for $400. So it's not really worth it, but thank you for watching. I got projects to work on and at my house, so probably should get on that. Yeah.